Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Team Member Showcase. We're officially live. Hopefully, you can see us and hear us. Chat, let me know if either of us are muted or frozen. Raven, say hi. Let's just check the mic real quick.
Hello, how's it going?
Good,
Hey
good,
everyone.
good. Yeah, chat, this is our Team Member Showcase. I basically want to just talk to Raven about everything Raven, about, her involvement with gaming and sci-fi, geek culture stuff, and just all the things that you see her doing here at Cybernation Uncensored, as well as ending up being a player, a game master, and community manager, all that stuff. So that's the whole point of the Team Member Showcase, is each episode trying to basically just deep dive on somebody from our community, from our team, basically that's been helping. Just want to put out some promos about Raven and give her some props for everything that she does for our brand and for me as a friend as well. Considering the filmmaking stuff, there's just so much stuff to talk about. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's back up a moment. Let's just take a deep breath. Let's just tell people where they can find you online, introduce yourself, just a little breakdown. There's no character to introduce. Team Nevermore is not streaming right now. We had a player kind of have something come up, so we couldn't do that. So that's why we're doing the team member showcase. But like I said, just let people know where they can find you online. I'm going to drop your Twitter link in the chat too.
Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Raven. You can find me all over the internet at A Familiar Raven. I play usually here every Friday or every Saturday for with GM Rob Mulligan for Team Nevermore. After this tonight, every other Saturday, I'm playing Major Gusset uh, with DM Darren Drader for Fallout Pacific Northwest. But I also captain or I chronicle for the High Riders or my High Riders campaign every Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we're in our second season, so it's an interesting. It's gonna get more interesting, and I'm try to keep you guys on your toes and riveted with various plots or various inspirations.
Oh yeah, it's definitely been fun. And there's been and I even think some rumors, possibly, we'll see, possibly a second team on the horizons, maybe even some fun side arc streams of the team and just some variety streams and stuff. I'm excited to see how that all evolves.
Tune in, find out.
Oh yeah, and yeah, and anybody that doesn't know, I'm Rob Mulligan. I'm a game master. I run tons of games. I do all kinds of tutorials and content because I'm the founder of Cybernation Uncensored. I basically have been doing this since the beginning of Cybernation Uncensored. It started with pushing lots of cyberpunk and tutorials and gameplay and evolving into all kinds of other gameplay and deep dives and GM tips and round tables and just so much stuff. We showcase tons of other game masters and shows now. I just recommend everybody check out the calendar. I'm going to put that into chat. Make sure you bookmark that. Don't leave us now. We're streaming live. Hang out with us. But bookmark that link so you can check out all the other streams. Like Raven mentioned, we've got Fallout later today at 8 p.m. Pacific. GM Darren Drader is going to be running that. Hey, what's up, Bronx Smash? And yeah, we've got tons of stuff going on. So make sure you follow and you subscribe here on Twitch because we have live streams pretty much every day of the week. Yeah, pretty much every day of the week. You can stop by our Twitch channel and hang out with people from our community and watch some gameplay or shows or just all kinds of content. If you miss out on the lives, go over to Cybernation Uncensored on YouTube and you can check out all the VODs there as well as other series and GM tips and things that are posted over there. And then if you don't do the video thing, everything goes out to 30 plus podcast websites after that. So look us up on like iHeartRadio and Pandora and just all kinds of places that you can see podcasts. I also want to give a shout out to the supporters on Patreon that do the official shout out supporting and above. We've been getting lots of new members joining up for the official monthly gameplay pool. I'm really excited about that, but all of you are honestly the fuel on my fire. You keep me going. I can't thank you enough. Chris Anderson, Rothan, aka Renegade 420, Matt James, aka GM Reservoir Panda, PWB, William Huddleston, Leaded Coffee, Cyber Smiley, Zach, aka Capricious Nature, Kevin Moreno, aka Savage McNavage, Nicholas King, aka The King Square. I need an AKA. This is bullshit. I don't feel as cool There's too many cool AKAs. This is bullshit. All right, moving on. Rufio, Zeno, Jamie Minch, Joseph Holder, John Erfurt, Tracy Goodwin, AKA Stink Palm. See, we're still doing AKAs. It's crazy. Raven, Alex Maxwell, Chris Callies, Ryan Anderson, Terrafan, Vulpus Vox. I want to make sure I'm getting that right. They recently teamed up on the monthly pool of gameplay that we've got just for $10 on our Patreon, and you get in the monthly pool to play. I run the game. It's former members of Team Veritas, including my beautiful wife Val. But Vulpus Vox, hit me up. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. David Spath, Bronx Smash, David Payne. I'm excited to see Bronx Smash join up. I'm excited to get him doing some gameplay and some streaming with us at Cybernation Uncensored. Also, shout out to Diamond Dust. Thanks for the subscription right there. I just saw that come through. Diamond Dust, official Cybernation Uncensored GM, streams with us every Thursday morning. Really excited about that. Rocking the 8 a.m. Stream, which is great for people in the overseas time zone, people across the pond there. But yeah, this is our team member showcase. I want to do a deep dive on Raven. I want Raven. Basically, I want to hand the mic over to you, and I want you just to take us back. Take us all the way back to little Raven. Maybe it was waking up on Christmas morning to your first game under the Christmas tree. I don't know where it started, but take us all the way back to your first experiences with gaming, and whether it's tabletop or video gaming or whatever leading up to tabletop, and then how you got involved with Cybernation Uncensored and being a player, a game master, then getting up to community manager. Obviously, I'm going to interrupt you along the way, asking questions and interjecting, but let's just do that. Let's take it all the way back to where you got started into gaming and geek culture stuff and all that. I'm going to get some shout out to Sirenscape, an official sponsor here at Cybernation Uncensored. I'm going to get a little smooth music going here in the background. Yeah, chat, just let me know if if anything gets too loud, if the music or anything. I'm going to try to keep it reasonably in the pocket there, so we have a little something in the background, but we don't overpower me or Raven. But yeah, just let us know in chat. Raven,
all right,
take it from there.
So, where did I start? I believe that was it was back in the 80s and 80s, early 90s. High school days, messing around with video games. Started with Atari, ColecoVision, Vectrex. Messing around. I went to a game store. And I was thumbing through all the different books and stuff, and I actually landed on D&D 2E.
Oh. I
got into that. Didn't really know anyone that played 2E. It was months before I found someone to jump in that ran games and for me to jump in. It was at the local Boys and Girls Club with my parents would drop me me and my brothers off after school, and my dad would go to work, and we'd do activities, do our homework, and then after all that was out of the way, I found someone in one of the tucked away game rooms that was running a D&D 2E game, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I watched that for a few weeks and decided, hey, can I get in? And they started teaching me how to play. Played that for a little bit. I got into other games like Recon, Vietnam style flavored game, and played that for a little while. And came across let's see, what other games was that? Gamma World, Dark Sun. I got into
you played Dark Sun.
A little bit, not very much.
I still have all the Dark Sun original box sets and supplements and books. I have all the three Dragon King books, all the original Dark Sun stuff. I started off with Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition as well. But sorry to interrupt. I got excited when I heard Dark Sun. Not a lot of people played Dark Sun or were into that.
Not really. It's very it's unusual for D&D, I guess.
Oh yeah.
From there, I jumped into other games like the original Marvel superheroes game. Then came across like Cyberpunk, the original Cyberpunk.
Oh.
That was a very interesting game. It kind of blew my mind at first, and my favorite character, my default was always a solo. And there's something about the badassery of being a solo, being able to walking into a room and being able to knowing that you could smoke everyone in the room and not and not really even sweat very much. I played that for a little bit, but then my GM kind of moved away. So I put that down because no one was really playing it where in my area. And then I jumped into other games, Rifts, Robotech, Heroes Unlimited. Let's see, Ninjas and Super Spies.
Oh.
a lot of Palladium stuff. I started running games because I didn't know anyone that ran them. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me get my hand. Let me try my hand at it. So I got a group of friends. We would play like my entire junior year and into my senior year in high school. I'd play like a weekly game or like whenever me and my friends could get together and run a couple of sessions, and it would be like all-nighters.
Oh yeah, that's how it was. I remember all the first times playing, and you would have like sleepovers and hanging out and staying up all night playing, and it was just so exciting, developing these characters, and when you're younger, having that time. Not realizing it at the moment, but now as an adult looking back, God, I miss having that much,
right.
non-responsibility free time, no major bills and things to worry about, not holding down work and shit.
Exactly, and when you're playing with a tight group of people, it's you don't really get people that want to jump up and say you're not playing it right, or this is not the way everyone else does it. You kind of you grow accustomed to it, to whoever's running the game, and
so true.
If you have a problem with it, you can voice your opinion. Hey, I'm not really cool with the way that went down. Can we have a do-over or whatever? And sometimes I would tell them all right, we'll try it we'll try it a different way. We'll rewind and I'll let them replay with the entire the specific scenario that they had a problem with.
Oh, nice.
So, but I did that all the way up into my high school years, and that I had to put all gaming aside because when I graduated, I ended up joining the military. Just because my parents couldn't cover my education.
And gaming habit?
The gaming habit? Yeah, kind of, because it is addictive. Math rocks and source books and stuff does kind of add up. So, but
that was funny. Real quick, Bronx Smash and Chat game sessions Friday night to Sunday afternoon, or random all-nighters at Denny's. Oh man, I just had some memories of Denny's when I used to live in Florida, and then prior to that, yeah, absolutely. That's so funny that you mentioned that. But yeah, I miss those days.
Oh, yeah.
All-nighters gaming.
Pizza, soda, whatever, and just non-stop gaming, and then when you get bored, you play around, you play video games or whatever, and then get back to gaming. And it's
exactly. But okay, so but you got into gaming when you were younger, and AD&D Second Edition, and you were introduced to Cyberpunk. Went through a bunch of games at the community center. You finally got to at least play and see people play, and then started GMing for yourself and friends through junior high and high school. And then you said you ended up in the military. Tell us about that.
So looked at like my junior and senior year. I kind of I was thinking about my life after high school and like that, and what I was gonna do. And we had a recruiter on campus, and the recruiter would chat up like all the students getting ready to graduate, and the juniors like getting ready to become seniors. And I kind of got familiar with them, and they would always tell me like, if you're looking for a career, come talk to me. We can set you up with we can pay for your education. And when I found out that my parents couldn't pay for my education for what I wanted to do, which I never even got to do, I looked to them, and I went to go and see the recruiter and said, "Hey, you mentioned that before about covering my education. Tell me more about this." And they did. I ended up enlisting and joining the reserves, the Army Reserves, as a combat medic. I did split option.
So you went medtech multi-classing solo kind of there.
in a sense, for real, yes. So part of my junior year in the summer, I did a little bit of my military training. I came back, did my senior year. When I graduated, I went and did the other half of my military training. Went to my military training school for being a combat medic. Came back and started drilling with my once a month with my reserve unit. That got deactivated, and I ended up having to go active duty and switch jobs. So from there, I had to go get retrained, and they wouldn't let me cross over as my original job, so they offered me helicopter mechanic, which was completely different. But I was like, okay, in order to fulfill my contract, whichever, I'll do that. And they're like, oh, the enlistment's 6 years. I was like, I thought to myself, I could do 6 years and then be done with it. So I went to go to the school in Fort Rucker, Alabama, and I learned how to work on scout helicopters. I did that for a little bit, and I ended up taking a friend of mine's transition to a heavy lift helicopter, a medium lift helicopter, which is the Blackhawks, while he was away on vacation or on leave, because our training NCO needed to send someone to school for a transition, which is switching over from one job to another. And I ended up working on Blackhawks.
Yeah.
I traveled around the world. I've been to Korea. I've been to Germany twice. From there, Germany is a wonderful place for duty assignments, because it allows you to travel to a handful of nations just using their rail system. So I got to go to Denmark, Italy, Paris, Poland, a lot of places. Yeah, it was fun. I met so many interesting people while I was in Europe. I stayed there. I actually lived in Europe for 10 years. So it was a very fun experience. While I was serving and went on deployments and like that, I got introduced to Magic the Gathering. WotC.
It's
sitting
funny.
around.
PWB
Yeah,
in chat was talking about because he's got military background as well, and he was talking about how he learned RPGs in the U.S. Army. He
exactly,
says one finds themselves with little money and long stints of free time. RPGs are a solution to boredom.
exactly.
But go on. So you got introduced to magic, huh?
Yeah, what they have over there, like on deployments, and also like when you're not on deployments, is they have what they call an MWR, morale, welfare, and recreation, organization or like office, where you could go in and like soldiers on their off time could go over there, play like pool, play ping pong, whatever, play chess, and other stuff. Just for so that soldiers don't do silly things like go drink too much and get into trouble. So, like on deployments, we have the same thing. Since there's no alcohol while we're on deployment. Like they would get donations from from all over the U.S. for troops that are deployed. We get books, we get like videos, games, Xbox games, and PlayStation games and whatnot. And we would also get as part of a care package or something. Trading card games and baseball cards and stuff. So I was introduced to they would WotC offered up like every few months or so. They'd send like bulk boxes to the different bases. I guess as for their free marketing or whatever to get their
That's
name out
cool.
there. And they would send out boxes, and we would do tournaments and like that. And that's how I kind of got introduced into to Magic the Gathering. And when I did, I was like, oh, this is a different kind of gaming, but it had the same kind of flavoring of like of D&D. So it kept me busy for a little bit. And when I finally did get get done with the military and I was out, that's when I stumbled on Cyberpunk Red.
Ah.
I started seeing videos like one day when like after I retired, and I actually caught like a Realmsmith like video that Mike Pondsmith was running.
Oh
like,
yeah.
When I first got into when I
With Matthew Lillard and I think Gary
exactly.
Gygax, all them, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's kind of that was like the segue that brought me to Cybernation, because like after I saw that, after I watched like all the episodes that they had, or all the sessions that they had, I was like, there's got to be more. There's got to be other people streaming Cyberpunk and like that. And I found it refreshing because like when I was playing the original Cyberpunk, I was really into it. It's just that it was intense for me. And like when I started doing searches on YouTube and like that, I actually stumbled onto your tutorials.
Me.
Yes, your tutorials and some of your live plays, and I was watching along, and like one of the videos had the Discord invite. I followed that, and like I signed on with signed up for the Discord, and like I started like chatting with people in the general chat, and then from there, like after getting into conversations and hanging around for months, I started like whenever new members would join, I would start greeting them, kind of like some of our players, or some of our new members do now, or some of our longtime members. Even Stink Palm's doing it, and a few of the other members, and like a big thank you to them for helping that's how I started. I was doing that for months, and I really didn't expect anything of it. It was just like my way of contributing for um, to our Discord, to the brand, and like that. And I was kind of hoping that we get more like make it a little bit more friendly, and people would start stepping up a little bit more, and then the community would grow. And lo and behold, like after with a little bit of change and people coming in, that it has grown, and it's grown considerably.
Yeah, I think it was back when you first got started with us, playing, right?
Right.
Yeah, you got to play. Tell us how that got started, and before, because you started playing, and then
Right.
And then getting into the GM seat too.
Right. Well, when I started playing, there was like, I don't remember if it was a casting call or whatever. At the time, we were just. It was actually, I think it started in the Looking for Games or something.
I think so, because back then, I think too, we only had a few. Yeah, I was GMing, and GM Capricious Nature.
Right.
Zach was helping me. He started GMing. We had a couple others, like GM Gomi from Australia,
Right.
who now is one of the 3 hosts of Talk Nerdy to Me, which just streamed their first episode last night with Alex Maxwell from Team Nevermore,
Right.
and Rem Alternus from the Gen Con channel and stuff. But yeah, I think back then there was only a few of us streaming the gameplay at the time, and I think, yeah, you're right. I think we were just posting in the Looking for Groups, or Zach just posted
Right.
in the chat like, hey, who wants to play?
Yeah. So, I monitored that, and GM Reservoir Panda, I posted like he was gonna start up a game.
Oh yeah,
So-
I forgot. Reservoir Panda was one of the. It was him and then Zach right after that, I believe. That's right. That's right.
I signed on with Panda, and GM Smiley was on the team. That kind of ended abruptly, because we only I think we only did like 4 or 5 sessions,
Yeah.
because he had technical issues that he couldn't continue.
Oh yeah, I think his building with the internet, there was something with him moving, and then the internet went, and they wouldn't replace it, the city or something. And remember, it was taking weeks for the construction, and like his internet was it was horrible.
Right, it was like
Yeah.
really wonky, and he couldn't continue. So
I remember that.
that ended, and Capricious Nature like put out in the Looking For that he was starting up a Nomads like campaign, and I was like, I've never played a Nomad before, but this could be interesting. So I threw my name in the hat, and I got picked to play, and the group that I joined up with was like they're dear friends. I count them as dear friends right now. We had it was an amazing ride. It like streaming on YouTube and Twitch and like that. It I had horrible introverted tendencies. So like like outside of streaming and like that, I never really liked interacting with people, or I was too kind of claustrophobic, or too shut in, and I was afraid to interact with people. Now with this, it's facilitated me being more comfortable to talk with people and talk on camera. It's given me more confidence. I really miss, or I dearly miss the Nomads campaign. From there, I jumped on Capricious Nature, started up another campaign for Fallout, because we signed on, or Modifia signed on as one of our sponsors, and for Fallout 2D20. So I started playing that, and that gave me a little bit more confidence. And like the whole time we were doing transitioning from Nomads to Fallout, and while we were playing it, I was talking about like I want to run my own campaign. I'm just kind of really nervous about it. And like I was watching, like on my off time, I would watch like other streams, other Cyberpunk streams and like that, and took notice that no one touches space. Like everyone plays in Night City, or some people play like their setting is like Florida or Texas or like that, and always on Earth. No one touch. There's source books and like that cover like the colonies or.
Oh yeah, High Riders are mentioned, but you never see anybody playing the High Riders or like taking Cyberpunk to space. Yeah.
Right. So I thought it was refreshing, and like I started. I looked up the Deep Space source book, and when I cracked it open, I was like, this is really hard to understand. Like the vehicle like statistics and like that, it was written in such a manner as like it was hard, and like even today, like me looking at it, it's like there's so much information, and the way it's arranged is hard for me to understand. So I started it's unfinished. I have it. If people want to look at it, I can share it. But I tried to arrange it in a way that's easily understandable. Like I kind of dumbed it down, so it, like at a glance you can look at it as like, oh, okay, this makes a little bit more sense. Excuse me. So, but getting back to me wanting to run the High Riders campaign, it's because no one touches space, and it's like to me it was like people thought of it as like a taboo thing, like for like no one really was interested in it. So that's how the High Riders my High Riders campaign came about, is because no one wanted to do something like that.
Oh, and I love it. I think it's great because, like I said, it's been mentioned. You know, I've read about it, and it's been around since the Cyberpunk 2020 days, and then you hear the mention in Red. And I think RTG even put out something like a year ago when they were talking about Black Chrome, and then there was like Rust or something, some Nomad Chrome or something that they're working. And they mentioned a High Riders supplement or something that eventually they were going to get to, or maybe they were working. I remember a mention of that, but again, not a lot about it. No one's playing it, you know. So I think it was really cool that you kind of took it to space and kind of filled that gap within the cyberpunk kind of realm, because it definitely has the dystopian like Earth tones. But there is that aspect of it. There's the High Riders, and look what they did during 2020. There's just a lot to it in the lore, you know, like dropping the big rocks, and then everything that happened, with the Corp War, and it's just like I said, it's mentioned within lore, and they dabbled, and they even put out supplements and then hinted towards Red, but no one's done it. Yeah, there hasn't been anything for it. So at least you've been able to do that, and I think it'll be exciting if you can. You know, when you do finally polish up your supplement and the PDF, and we get that on the Cybernation Uncensored site with the other ones, so we can start spreading it to the community. I think that'll be awesome. Okay. I think there's a definite need for that.
Yeah, and I think the unique thing about it is that since no one's really touching it like that, and like every GM is different, so like you can make it your own. Like rules is written, and with homebrew you could step away and like for me I'm drawing sources from like different things, like a little bit from 2077 since my timeline is set in 2077, but I draw stuff from like when I got my players together, I draw inspiration from like Battle Angel Alita. I draw stuff from Gundam. Not the big mechs, because I don't want to touch mech. I don't want to draw mech ton into it. To me, it would make it a little bit more complicated than I want it to be. but like stuff like Ghost in the Shell, um,
Oh yeah.
stuff from authors. I don't want to give it away, but authors, sci-fi authors that delve into like different space, different aspects of space fantasy. I'm drawing that into my campaign, and also like stuff, real life stuff that happens nowadays with like social media or current events. I'm kind of rolling that into my storyline, which is how the Neon Church got drawn into it. So it's an interesting it'll be an interesting ride, and I just want to the way I describe it to people when I talk about a tabletop role playing is I present my players with a situation. I don't expect I don't have a clear path on how this goes. I just I present you with the scenario, and what you do from there is that's your own path to peril or a path to fame, and I chronicle how you guys how my team handles it.
Oh yeah, and I think that's a great way to put it. It's totally true. Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying that stream, and I'm loving seeing it evolve. And I know there's a possible new player addition on the horizon, maybe even some other expansions, like I mentioned before, and then some random here and there side arcs and little things that might drop into the schedule. Exactly. Yeah, I'm excited to see all that stuff happen. But aside from getting started with the gaming stuff, being a player and getting down with Reservoir Panda and then Capricious Nature and then evolving into running your own games, all by finding Cybernation Uncensored through the videos and getting back into Cyberpunk after getting back from the military. You kind of lately dabbled in helping out the community and posting, welcoming people, but I think there's more detail to this, and I think I'd love to just kind of explain to people the caliber of you helping, because I think it's a great story, and the fact that anybody that's been part of Cybernation Uncensored knows that it started as Cyberpunk Uncensored years ago, and it was very focused on that. And like I said, I kind of evolved it into expanding into other gameplay and things because of hooking up with other gaming companies and just expanding the flavor on what I enjoy. I love dystopian gameplay and sci-fi, not so far extreme in certain things, and I even started getting a little low fantasy, not so extreme into fantasy, still not wanting to get in back into D&D level of things, but you've seen Shadows of Asterin, right? So been doing all these expansions and growing the community and GMs and shows and bringing people in, and you've been part of that, like we've said, from player to GM to going in. But part of that expansions, and if anybody's seen this in the past half a year or handful of months, has been expanding the team. I've been running everything myself for so long, and I basically brought in promotion managers, graphic managers, community managers, promoters, and just so many different positions. I know I'm forgetting some, and we're gonna hopefully hit all of them in different episodes of this team member showcase. But along the way, we've had a couple different community managers and people that were kind of trying out, some that actually stepped into a role, and then some that didn't, and then left. And it's just been a real hard time getting people to commit and just really dive into the community, help it grow, and keep up with all the expansions, with all the shows, the constant flow of people coming into the community, and then not just keeping up with all that, but then being part of helping it expand, welcoming people, directing them to where they need to go, making the right channels that need to happen, helping put together like this charity stuff that we're working on that you're helping getting involved with, as well as other game stuff. During all of that, you were helping, and you were just naturally doing it as part of the community because you are an awesome person. I do want to point that out. I think the King Square mentioned, don't forget to just mention that you're an awesome person in all the things that you're mentioning that you do, and you were part of the community, and just naturally being you, welcoming people, helping the community grow, and just being part of that evolution of what this, Cybernation Uncensored is and is becoming. But as community managers were kind of coming and going and falling out and not keeping up, and things were happening, and you saw us just having a hard time keeping things going, you basically stepped up without even asking or anything. You said, look, I'm already doing this. I'll help do all these things until you can find official someone to kind of do it. And I thought that was really awesome to have my back like that as a friend. You know, and that's even beyond just community stuff. Because I mentioned like the filmmaking stuff earlier. Let me mention that too, that like, you know, me and Raven have been lucky enough to be friendly outside of just gaming and the brand. We found out she lives locally. We both live not too far from each other. We even went and checked out a movie. You came out with the family, met my parents, and we went out to go see a movie long ago and been, you know, hanging out. You even came and worked on set for the Hulu series. I was doing production design. Raven came and did set design, set dressing, and prop master, and you know, we've been friends and all that. But then on the community side, to not just be part of that, but then to kind of step up on that friend level without asking, with no sort of like there's no rewards. Like I've said since day one of me GMing and doing this, like no one's really paying us to push this. Like we have a passion for gaming and all this stuff that we do and we put out, and we do it because we love it, and we've built friendships within this community with all of us and people we stream with and game with. Like I love it. I love every day tuning in live and hanging out with people, you know. But throughout all of that, you naturally had my back. You had the community's back, and you just stepped up and said, look, I'm gonna do what I'm doing, and I'm gonna step up and just handle all this, you know, until you can find someone that'll just lock in. And it was not too long after that you know, I came to you and said, look, you already kick ass at this. You've been doing it, and you've kind of picked up all the slack, and as people come and go, you're always there helping with all these things. Like, would you want to just kind of be the official title? Like, let me give you that title and the props for what you're already doing. And you stepped up into the official position. I just can't thank you enough for that. And I wanted to kind of just give a little depth to that story, because it wasn't just as simple as, oh, I was just kind of helping the community expand and posting and then got into the position. Like, yeah, absolutely, we're a badass, you know, in stepping up to all that and just doing it as a friend and having my back in the community. And I just want to really thank you for that. And I wanted everyone in chat and everybody to know the depth of that, you know. I even get teary-eyed when I talk about it, because I really appreciate that.
You're very welcome. And that's kind of just how I was raised. Is like for me, my values and like that. That's how you treat a good friend. That's like the level of dedication I have to close friends. Is that like there's almost nothing that I wouldn't do to help out a friend if I'm able to. And like with the brand and like that, I was doing that because like I'm so diehard for Cyberpunk and like that, and the support that we do give our creators for their shows and for information and stuff, so we can make their games better. I wanted to be a part of pushing the brand, or pushing our Discord group to higher heights. And I didn't do that because I really expect money out of it. I mean, exactly. It's pretty much like networking. Like the more people that you come into interaction with, that have ideas, that have skills, or like we have game designers and stuff like that are part of our brand.
Oh yeah.
And like you surround yourself with like really intelligent people, or knowledgeable about certain things, and you kind of soak up that information from them. So what you don't know, you can we ask, and we make ourselves better, and that's kind of how I am evolving as a player, game master. Who knows? Maybe a game designer someday. Whatever. We'll see. We'll see what comes of it. But I want to make my craft better. Like as a player, I like to get in the mindset of my characters, and I try to impart that on my players, or players that I want to come game with me. Is like, when you sit at my table or like that, I want you to become your player. I don't want like when you describe an action, I don't want you to say, my solo does this. I want you to take on the persona of your
Exactly.
solo and say, like, okay, it's Sig's turn. What's Sig doing? And instead of like, oh, Sig does this, and just like, hey, yeah, I walk across the room. I draw my heavy pistol, and I bear, or like I pointed at so and so's head or whatever, and I pull back the hammer and tell him, you've got two choices: give me the answer, or don't give me the answer, and we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah,
So
no, I love that. Definitely encouraging the player in character role play, and like it's so much more fun to get lost in it.
exactly.
Absolutely.
And it's your players. This is your time. This is our therapy. A lot of us have freaking really crappy jobs that we deal with weekend, day in, day out. And come Friday, come Saturday, or whatever your game day is, you come to blow off steam. And
Oh
why
yeah.
not? Why not step into your player and say, yeah, this is what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
Makes it more fun. In my opinion, makes more fun.
Oh, I agree, 100%, exactly. And I want to and I want to clarify one thing too for chat and anybody watching because I've mentioned before and I've explained it before and now you've mentioned it as well, and we always talk about like having a passion for this stuff, and I always like rely on or lean on saying, and no one's paying us for this. The idea behind that and saying that is like, because we do this like 24/7, like every day of the week there's a stream, and it's like posting, running the tech and doing the live stream on Twitch and getting the updates and the titles and promoting it and the flyers and the graphic work from the graphic managers and the graphic artists and the team, and on all the social media pages, and running that, and then getting that VOD downloaded and onto the YouTube, and then that downloaded and out to the podcast that goes out to 30 sites. And then you have to get all that done within 24 hours, 48 hours, because every day there's a new live stream that then has to go to YouTube. So every day and then some days there's multiples, and like, and then we're trying to do charities, we're trying to release PDFs, we got to maintain the website. There is so much in this, and it's almost like a full-time job with how much like work you put in. But when you look at it, like, yeah, it's a lot of work and things being done, but it's like it's so much fun. All of us here do this because we have a passion for this, and that's why I always say shit like, and no one's paying us, like we're doing it because of the amount of work all of us and time and energy we put into this. Because if you look at how many streams and content and just how involved we are in this community, it's a lot. We do it because we absolutely love it and we're part of it. And that's not to say that we're not all part of the equity team. Like, absolutely, everyone in the management positions and producers and everyone part of this team keeping this, this thing moving forward. Everybody has equity. We're all broken down in it, but Raven can vouch. It's a nominal fee. It's you get pennies on website clicks and streaming. It's not big money until you can really expand a brand to the point where you get big sponsors, not in the form of like product sponsors, like here's some free games, but like, let me pay you to put my logo on your shit and to run my games. And like, hopefully we'll get up to that caliber. We keep expanding. The community's growing. We have excellent GMs, awesome role-playing, cosplaying players, like entertaining shows that aren't just gameplay, but other shows as well. So that's the idea. But all of us on the team, just for chat and for the community to know, like, absolutely, we all share in any type of revenue that we can generate for the brand. But it is so small, few and far in between, because it is what it is. We're a streaming community. We're putting out gameplay in hopes that people share and click ads and like donate little bits when we live stream for +2s for the players, and all those little things that we do to try to just keep the thing growing, as well as Patreon. I'm constantly putting out gameplay things and shout outs like I did at the beginning of this, in any little way, just to get money in pockets and towards the brand and myself, and as other players do, like they have their own shows trying to get sponsors and things for them. Like, we're all just trying to survive and keep this thing going, and we do it because the community is so supportive, and this thing has grown because of the community. When I started it, it expanded, like you reminded me, GM Reservoir Panda, then into Capricious Nature, like Gomi was there, we've had others, and it's expanded because it is a community sort of run brand. Ultimately, it was never just GM Rob Mulligan or just a one game thing, even though we did heavily focused on Cyberpunk. That is my first passion. I love Cyberpunk so much. But it was always about being a community, even when it was Cyberpunk Uncensored, you know, and then into Cybernation Uncensored, kind of expanding the brand. So anyways, I just had to kind of throw those details out there because it does mean a lot to me that you didn't just have fun as a player, a GM, you know, but stepping up into community manager and putting in as much time and effort and work as you do, you know, having my back and just being my partner on all this. So, you know, I just love kind of putting those details out there because it means a lot. Not everybody can do it. And as we've seen, people come and go and stuff, you know, not everybody can kind of stick with the workload and just the amount of content we put out. And that also goes to chat and the community. You know, we get lots of likes and shares and stuff, and people tuning in like today. Couldn't do it without you. But that being said, you know, why don't we get a little bit into you and some of the character stuff? You know, we talked about, you know, coming up into gaming, the player and the game mastering and the community manager and stuff. You know, we talked about player stuff. We were going to do Team Nevermore today, but you know, we had some player conflict stuff that just couldn't work, so we'll be back at that next Saturday. Luckily, we could do this team member showcase thing because it's overdue. I've been wanting to do this with you for a while here, but then that Hulu film stuff came up in the holidays and diving back in. But let's talk a little bit about Team Nevermore. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, that's been Cyberpunk Red. It's been our weekly Saturday stream. We got all the way up through Season 2. It's been one hell of a ride, plot twists and crazy fun and all that good stuff. But yeah, that team's going to be evolving into kind of a rotating team within games with a new player each system. We're going to get into Cyborg in a couple weeks. We're going to run that for a month or two. Then we're going to get into like Death in Space, into the Odd, probably back into some Fallout, maybe some Dune. We're going to so many games, Blade Runner. We have so many things we want to touch on. But before that evolves and we get into that, and before we leave Team Nevermore next week at the 24-hour cafe session and do a little recap, let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk a little bit about Belladonna Jax, your character in Team Nevermore. You have two names because it is a split personality situation. Just give a little bit of a breakdown for that, and hopefully people watching will be encouraged to go check out some Team Nevermore and see Raven in action. But yeah, I'll just give the mic to you. Tell us about Belladonna Jax.
Like the concept of Belladonna Jax, like when we were picking characters and like that, and you were kind of tossing around like life paths and like that. I usually, like I said, I default to solo because that's what I'm comfortable with, and that's my favorite life path. But solo was taken because Maxwell took it, and like he called dibs on it, and I was like, okay, there can actually be two solos, but I'll choose something. I choose a different life path, and I wanted to push my comfort zone, and characters that I wasn't exactly completely comfortable with were medtech, because I've never played it, and netrunners. I was gonna choose a netrunner, but I decided to go medtech, and I was picking. I like to with my characters. I like to make them a little bit more interesting. I like my characters to be memorable. I like stepping into my characters. Like I said, like whenever I describe an action like that, unless it's physically impossible, or it's impossible for me to convey what I'm doing, I like to make my characters memorable, like give them like character traits. And when I was rolling my character up and coming up with the concept of Jax, I was thinking, okay, I landed on medtech. I don't want this to be a cookie cutter kind of character. I want there to be some type of I want my character to be charismatic, memorable. What can I do? And then I was like, okay, the background is European, and I like my characters. The villainous side of characters. I don't really like to choose like goody characters or characters that are like um, on the lawful side. So I decided to give my character, or this character, like a dual personality, and also with the life path that I chose, a little bit of a little flavor of being disreputable. So doing jobs or doing gigs for very questionable people. As long as as Belladonna got paid like a good amount of eddies, it was worth it. It ended up costing her like her medical license to practice in an official capacity, which is why she ended up becoming a Ripper Doc, like in a seedy neighborhood. No questions asked. Give me the eddies, and you can. I'll do whatever you need to do. But like when I rolled up the character, I decided to give, and when I did decide to give her a dual personality, the growing up in a corporate setting and having her parents taken away, kind of fragmented her her psyche, which caused her to develop a stronger personality because her parents weren't around, and like the stronger psyche had to step up and protect the weaker one, which is Belladonna, the typical spoiled rich kid that is used to getting everything handed to them on a silver platter, and instead of like now being forced to like live on the streets and not get everything that they wanted and having to fight for everything. The stronger personality had to step up and take what they needed, or get into uncomfortable situations and bear the brunt of like all the questionably moral things that Belladonna couldn't do. So Jack stepped forward, and what better way? I chose a notoriously famous character is from being Jack the Ripper, and kind of melded it with Belladonna, and Belladonna Jax was born.
Oh, I love it, and I love the nameplay too because of Jack the Ripper, Jax the Ripper Doc. Like it's so good. It's so good. And then anybody that's been watching Team Nevermore, you've probably seen some of the things that went down with Belladonna, Jax. I don't want too many spoilers because everybody needs to go watch it. But something pretty drastic has happened to her a couple times, and between that and borderline cyberpsychosis, and then the split personality past trauma, there's definitely been some moments where like the team has had to remove headphones, and she's had her own little side things happen. Again, I don't want too many spoilers. I even see some of the teammates in chat, so I don't want to give away too much. But yeah, lots of depth to that character. I really love. I love the creation of Belladonna Jax. Everybody needs to check out Team Nevermore. We'll be back next Saturday. Next Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, will be our 24-hour cafe special roleplay session. Anybody that watches any of the teams that I stream, I always do a 24-hour cafe. It started with my Sirenscape stream. I do that every Thursday at 4 p.m. on the Sirenscape channel. And I brought that team to the 24-hour cafe. I created this cafe in the Upper Marina, right on the edge there on the highway coming into Night City. Just to kind of put that in between campaigns, to do a little full roleplay in character recap of the previous campaign, little hints of coming to the campaign, maybe some little moments during it, but also to give me that extra time to do some planning for the next campaign. It just kind of gives a nice little transition roleplay session, and I've implemented that into every single team. So that's what we're gonna do next Saturday. The team's gonna hit up the cafe. Anybody that's watched the Sirenscape team, that the 24-hour cafe has been through some shit. So it might not be typical. We'll see what happens. You're gonna want to tune in and check that out and see the repercussions of the Sirenscape team and then Nevermore stepping into that. We'll see. But anyways, next Saturday, 24-hour cafe session. We're gonna recap the previous campaign and maybe even the one before that. We're gonna do a kind of fun big recap because of the fact that we're leaving Team Nevermore next Saturday after that 24-hour cafe roleplay session to get into Cyborg. We're going to rock that with new players going to join the team. We're going to do Cyborg for a month or two, however long it takes to do a little mini campaign I have planned. and then we'll get into the next game, and then we'll circle back around, back to Team Nevermore eventually to continue right where we left off, which is pretty crazy. There's some definite craziness that has happened that team needs to kind of handle now. So I'm excited to see when we get back to that. But again, everybody, make sure you check out the VODs on Cybernation Uncensored YouTube. In fact, I'll drop that little tag there in chat so everybody can go check that out. And then make sure you tune in next Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, right here on the Cybernation Uncensored Twitch channel. But that being said, I think we did a nice deep dive on Raven. Thanks so much for joining me. I always, I hate streaming a gameplay team. If even just one player is missing, I feel like I hate that. I hate doing the recap. I hate them missing what's happening. And you know how it is. Every session there's plot twists and crazy shit, and it's important. I want everyone there. So if a player can't make it because of life happens, I tend to postpone. And that's kind of what happened today. But I'm excited that we were able to get this team member showcase done. I'm excited that you were able to join me. And we could finally do a Raven deep dive, and especially with, like I said, with how involved you have been with Cybernation Uncensored. This is long overdue. And then stepping up into community manager and just rocking that shit. And also, let's let it be known, we do have plans. Like every position, we have a promotion manager, which is our own Alex Maxwell, who's heading up Talk Nerdy to Me. He's part of Team Nevermore. He's Scare Bear, as we were joking around with the names in chat. But every position, promotion manager, community manager, just like our graphic managers, we have the Wookiee Kev, and we got GM Mistress Winter, who's running our Star Trek stream every Thursday after the Sirenscape stream. But we want a second community manager. We do need help. Like we said, no one's paying us for this, and it's almost like a full-time job. How much we're involved and how much we do it. We could use the help. Every position we could use 2 team members. That way, not one person has to handle everything. Everybody has somebody they can lean on to help with different things and that sort of concept, right? So anybody watching this, hit us up. Hit me up. Hit up the community. Hit up Raven Direct. You see her social media links. In fact, for just another time, let me drop that Twitter link in there. Everybody make sure you follow Raven on Twitter. And yeah, hit her up. Let us know if you want to help, if you want to come into the community manager position and be our second community manager and give Raven some help. Just wanted to kind of put that out there, a little promo. But that being said, anything else that you want to mention or recap or shout out, or any last words before I kill the transmission, as I like to say? Any final words here from Raven?
We've got stuff, new shows coming on board all the time. Keep an eye out for our casting calls. Please, if you are interested in helping join the admin team, we really could use the help. We really would appreciate it. Also, if you see new players, just try to be a little bit be welcoming, make them feel at home. And that's pretty much all I have.
Nice. No, well played. That's a good point to make. Everyone help make people feel welcome. There's always a place for new players, new GMs. There's no gatekeeping here, as the community has been. And I think that's a great note to end on. Well put, Raven. Thanks for joining me. Thanks, chat, for being here. And we'll see you next time. Oh, and look, my beautiful wife, Val Mulligan, just got off work. Missed it. Frowny face. At least you were able to stop in to say hi and bye. And
Thank you, Val.
We'll see everybody next time. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
Cybernation Uncensored.